All right, let's share our screen and jump right in. Today's sales shot is all about how to have a good discovery call. If this is the first time you've joined us for a sales shot, these are fantastic. 30 minutes, quick and dirty, nothing but tactical and practical, because that's what we do at Factor 8. Allow me to introduce your esteemed panelists. I'm joined by Carrie Smith. Go ahead and introduce yourself, love.
Hello, I'm Carrie Smith, coming out of State College, Pennsylvania. We are Penn State.
Whoop, whoop.
And yeah, I love these. These have been so fun to get to do these with you.
I'm so glad you do them with me. So Carrie is a little bit over 6 months old with us at Factor 8, our very own, we call you a senior sales executive. And in your first 6 months, you're really BDR, SDR role. Right. And so as we've done, this is what our fourth sales shot together. Sometimes she's there as the voice of the customer and the rep and, hey, I just made 20 of these calls. But sometimes like today, where we're talking about discovery, that is kind of more of an AE, account manager, ISR sport, Carrie's learning alongside like you. So she's here to ask the questions that you have. So make sure you keep the chat alive and ask any that you have. NWA joining us. Hi, Andrew. My name is Lauren Bailey. If we haven't met already, my friends call me LB. I'm the founder of Factor 8, the Sales Bar and Girls Club. And I am still really super actively involved in Factor 8 and writing all of our content for BDRs, SDRs, AEs, account managers, ISRs, inbound, outbound managers, leaders. That is my passion, is doing things like this and writing new content and working with young sellers like Carrie. So we wouldn't be here today without outreach. Oh, everybody just freaking loves outreach. Carrie, take it away, because I know that you're more passionate than most. Tell people 3 things about outreach, or whatever number you find appropriate.
I love that you think I'm a young seller. Well, young at heart. So
you are.
Yeah.
Listen, you may have fought the fact that you looked 12 when you were in your 20s, but as we get older,
it's
super jealous.
It's working. Yeah.
I'm never guessed younger. I have young kids and I get called grandma, and it really pisses me off. Yeah.
Outreach is amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know how people do what we do without it. Just the automation and the thinking ahead, and it's another brain it's a better brain some days that I'm able to use.
Think ahead.
I do. I'm not going to disagree there either. Yeah. It's just phenomenal software that really helps with sales engagement at every level.
Yeah. I mean, people are already chatting about how they love outreach. So if you haven't tried it, make sure that you do. They're amazing, and we thank them and we love them. All right. So we're talking about discovery today. And I got to be honest, it's one of my favorite things to train, because I feel like everybody does it. There's not a lot of new things in discovery. And it's probably because that's always been the easiest part for me. I join a discovery call and I just try to understand their business as if I'm going to be their new VP of sales. And that's because I'm selling what I've always done my whole career, I realized, right? Carrie, you did not grow up in corporate training. You did not grow up in sales and BDR and AE land and inside sales. And so you doing a discovery call for that is different for you. And like most people on this call, whatever it is you're selling, it's not like you grew up in that. And that's why discovery can be tricky.
Right.
So I'm going to go at discovery in a couple different angles, and we'll start with our first shot. You know, I'm in Vegas, right? So this actually turns my stomach looking at this. This is a little too recent for me. Sales shot number 1 is start with the prospect's goal and be super clear. It ain't the same as yours. Okay. We're booking an hour. We're excited to tell them everything about our service. Mostly we're thinking about putting them in our pipeline, right? Here comes a discovery call. It's going to go fantastic. And boom, I'm going to close this deal. That's what a salesperson thinks like. The customer, no. Like, what do you think the customer's goal is? If you want to play along, chat it in for us. So Carrie, I'm going to ask you 1 or 2. We'll ask the chats 1 or 2. I've got a couple things. Like somebody says, yeah, well, let's have a discovery call. The BDR called them. They said, okay, sure, I'll take a call with the AE. What's the customer's goal or the prospect's goal?
To have their time used in a valuable way.
Yeah,
you've piqued enough curiosity that they're open to talking, but if it's not, it's got to be valuable.
Value is key, right? What's in it for them? Learn if I can solve my problems. What can we do for them? Find out what's in it for exactly. And what's in it for them is I possibly have a problem. I might just have some interest, right? I possibly have a problem and I want to know quickly and easily if you can solve it. I want the problem to be, or the solution to be easy. I want to spend as little money as possible. And I want this to go as fast as possible. Like, that's it, right?
Yep.
Now, every once in a while, you've got a discovery call where we're meeting them higher up in the funnel. Let's look at that for a second, okay? On the left-hand side, I have our sales process. And on the right-hand side, I have a typical buyer's journey. Yours probably don't look like these, but they're close, okay? If you've never seen a buyer's funnel before, this is important because our job is to fit into their process, not to try to fit them into our process. And in general, we're not great at that in sales yet, okay? Our process is almost always in the same order. There's contact, there's needs. That's the discovery, where we are at number 2, presenting the offer, managing objections, closing, and then trying to repeat and farm, okay? You may not own all of that sales cycle. Their process and how they interact with us will change based on where they are. So every once in a while, we have a discovery call at Factor8 for somebody who's actively searching for sales training solutions. They're at step 3. When that's the case, they want a dog and pony show. They are putting vendors against each other, and our job is to show up and talk all about our product and solution so that they can compare them. That's pretty much the only time that we ever do a dog and pony show, right? We try to spend a lot more time up in discovery, and so that we're molding them along with us. We fully understand their problems so we can present the right solution and kind of get rid of the competition along the way. Okay. So ideally, we're meeting them up at number 1 or number 2 in their buying process. Now, why do you guys think that is? Why is it better to meet them earlier in the process than later in the process? Because couldn't you close the deal faster if we got them later? What do you think of that, Carrie? I know I'm putting you on the spot. There's no dumb answer here.
Yeah, I mean, if they have to know about you, I mean, I know I don't make decisions. I mean, some decisions once, but you're spending a few bucks. I mean, you think about it, you want to know, you want to have some familiarity and not just do things completely off the cuff. So, but if you've got that awareness at the top and they've already have some respect and understanding and awareness of you as a company, that's going to go pretty far.
It helps to be involved from the beginning with that awareness. You're right. And other people are agreeing with you. There's more chance to establish trust. I really like Natalie's answer. It's an ability to influence and operate on our strengths or the first point advantage. Oh, I'm going to mess up how I spell your name, love. Yuvar. Super sorry, but you're brilliant. And I screwed that up, and feel free to type it in phonetically. Yuvraj. Thank you. Right. Yep. Thank you. Are we good? Yuvraj? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So yes, and you already have a relationship built. All of these things are true. Earlier is better. Okay. The person who gets in at the beginning teaches them what to look for. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right. The point is your discovery questions will change based on where your customer is. Okay. At the beginning, you're trying to almost build out the problem for them. You're helping them gain awareness of the problem and challenge and define it. If they're coming to you down at the end, they know exactly what they're looking for. Okay. And your questions and your discovery changes a bit. So here's the next question. If I'm a BDR SDR and my job is to get the disco meeting, the discovery meeting, I love that, like that's the new trend now. It just makes it seem like a fun call. If my job is to get the disco meeting, do I do discovery? Yes or no? Type it in for me. And then we'll hear from Carrie and see what she thinks. I got a yes from Tara, yes from Anna. You ladies are fast. Nellie and Chris agree. Davin, absolutely. You have to try. Thank you, Kent. Yes. Okay. Everybody agrees. Carrie, do you agree with them?
Yeah. My AE likes me so much better. The more information that I can just hand on a silver platter.
Yeah.
And it makes their job so much easier. And it makes I think it makes the prospect feel understood and respected. And it comes back to value. And if I can make that time with the AE really valuable,
right,
the more I can do upfront, the better.
Oh my God. I have to be honest with you. I've trained a lot of BDRs, and once we get people to talk to us, most of them pitch the meeting. They totally skip discovery. And I don't know how anybody ever says yes to it, ever. Right? Like you're just sitting on piles of time. You got nothing better to do than to meet with somebody about something with no value in it to you, and right? Like no wonder the conversion rate is low, because you are just getting doofuses who've got nothing better to do. And then the show rate's low because if like something comes up, they're not actually invested at all because they don't know anything about you and you don't know anything about them, right? So yes, BDRs, SDRs, if you're not doing discovery, make that the most important thing you take away here. What about account managers? If I have an account manager on the call, I want you to chat it in, please. Account managers own a book of business. They're usually active or used to be active accounts who order periodically. And an account manager's job is to get them to order more and different stuff, okay, to grow the account. Present, Austin. Somebody calls you haven't talked to in a month or two, who's got something they need to buy. Do you do discovery? I mean, they're calling you with their need. Austin says absolutely. How about you, Katie? Andrew says yes.
Maybe there's more. There's probably more in there.
100%. Exactly. So inbound is the same. All right. Treat account management and inbound like this. It can be a struggle because somebody says, hey, listen, I'm calling to order, the HP 9100 printer. Mine died. It's my most recent order. So that's sorry about that if you're not in the tech business. And if we don't say, yeah, cool, what's going on? And how are you using it? And did you know that the 9100 is actually, what did you have before? And gee, they're different. You're going to need a different cable and you're going to need different printer cartridges. Like when I get my 9100 and I can't print anything out from it, I'm pissed off that you didn't ask me these questions, right? We recently bought really expensive iron storm doors so that I can have them locked at night and have the windows open because it's getting under 100 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. Super excited about that. But the guy never asked if I wanted to have the automatic closers on it. And I'm sure he charged me like $400 per automatic closer. But I was pissed that he didn't ask because that wasn't the whole solution. I wanted the whole solution and he didn't talk to me about what was available. And maybe he felt nervous because he didn't want to charge me an extra $2,000 because I bought a lot of doors. But that's the point, okay? Our job is to give the full service person. All right, Austin, they might be a different person from the same company who's new to the role. Yeah, they might have a different perspective. They might need something different. There's a billion reasons. And it's easy to just back up a second, be like, yep, I totally got this order ready for you. Now let's talk about how you're going to use it. What do you have now? What are the goals? Let's see how I can help. I think we don't do it, you guys, because the number one mistake I've seen for 20 straight years is the premature pitch. I think we just get so damn excited when somebody's going to talk to us. We think our job is pitching, right? As salespeople, we're like, I'm ready with my value prop and I'm ready with how I overcome my competition. If I'm really good, I got a story in my back pocket. Let's go. I'm loaded. And instead, I want you to be loaded with the actual number one sales tool: questions. There's nothing that can be told that can't be asked. The key is a question. Now, what can we learn if we ask great questions? I want you to blow up the chat. What can we learn if we ask great questions? Carrie, I'm coming to you while the chat blows up.
You can learn interesting things.
Interesting things is a total cop-out. Come on.
No, I mean, you learn what you need. You're qualifying. You're determining if you can learn if there's somebody that could potentially buy or would be a good fit. Because it's not worth passing them up the chain if they're not going to be a good fit. Good. I love that you said qualify. That is absolutely, one of the top 5 answers on the board. Needs are coming in on chat. Hot buttons, issues, if we could be a fit, budget and decision makers, how to best position, what's most important to them. Oh, it's everything you need. I want you guys to take a look at this list. Sales questions teach us. What's ISR?
Oh, thank you. Inside sales rep. So I said ISR because an ISR is a rep. Okay. And not all of us own the whole sales cycle. So if you're a BDR, SDR, there's some stuff on here you're not going to learn. And it's okay. You're not supposed to keep them on to learn all this stuff. Okay. Yours is a shorter discovery call. I said ISR because it's somebody who owns the full sales cycle. Gotcha. So you could just replace that with rep. For sometimes it's AE, sometimes it's AM, sometimes it's field executive. Insert your title here, except maybe BDR, SDR. You get a portion of these. Carrie, why is it a portion of? As a BDR, SDR, why can't you learn everything on this list?
Because I don't have the keys to that bus. I'm just determining if they should be passed along. And I say that on calls too, when they ask like, well, how much, like, I don't have those keys. Like, I'm not allowed to drive that bus yet. I'm not allowed. But yeah, but I don't, and it doesn't, and I'm not going to answer those questions well, because that's why I'm qualified.
Yeah. But you know what? I super love that you identified that it's time to pass the keys or the bus or the passenger, whatever this metaphor is.
Something, yeah.
Because I think that's what we're talking about in our next sales shot is that transition to close. And what you heard was a buying signal. When somebody's asking you questions about it, it's time to pass that businger. We'll just leave it there. Yeah, nailed it. All right. So guys, as you look at this list, what is missing? Carrie's is right there, a qualification. If they're looking, and if so, why they're looking. I think that's definitely still BDR territory, right? Where are you in the process? Did you know that you have a challenge? What they need, how they'll use it. Who's going to buy? Thanks, Karen. That's fantastic. Love how your name's spelled. Sorry you had to spell that for everybody your entire life, right? Yeah, that's really good. Who's the right person? Don't have it on the list. When they need it. And who else? Nailed it. Nice job. Really, really good. Thanks, Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. Who else is involved in decision? We got that. Good. How we sell it, how we win it. The qualification, yep. BANT or whatever you use, right? Everybody's got a different kind of qualification. I like that. The end user and what's important to them. We're going to get all of these things. And by the way, we might not get it on the first discovery call, okay? As a general rule, I wanted to try to convince you that the first discovery needs to be all about them and all about their challenge. Qualify, yes. Make sure that it's worth your time to even do the discovery call. But don't worry so much about getting every single piece of the puzzle of the buying process yet, unless you're a one-call close. Good. The overall purchase process. Oh, Larry, top. Look at that. What do you think he means by that, Carrie? If you're not looking at chat, he says the cost
of failure. What happens if you don't do it? Like how bad is it going to be if you don't fix this?
Why do we ask that? If you do nothing, what happens? Yes, Nellie, same thing.
Because that gets into the pain and why it hurt. And it's emotion. It conjures the emotion behind decisions, which we all make emotional decisions.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So good job, you guys. If you don't have questions in your arsenal to uncover all of these, that's your homework. Okay. Look through this, identify one or two right now before I hit click in 10 seconds and say, you know what? As I look at my question list, I'm not uncovering Larry's super awesome cost of failure. Or I'm not really talking about future state. You've got 10 seconds left. And by the way, if you don't have a list of questions, that's the most important thing you can do.
Well, and as an SDR, BDR, finding out from my AE, the things that they really need to know, and then the secondary things has been extremely helpful. So I always prioritize those questions that they need to know. And then the other things are just really helpful to have in there too.
Perfect. Boom. All right. We're going to look at this a little bit differently. I'm going to hit click in 3, 2, 1. The rest you can get from the recording. Here's sales shot number 2. This is what not a lot of people talk about. Folks, the discovery call is your audition. Think about the fact that they might talk with, probably if they wind up buying, 5 different sales reps throughout this process, right? Maybe some they get rid of early, maybe some come in later, maybe it's a couple of people at your company, but it's going to be probably at least 5. I'm sure there's a study on how many people we talk to. Okay. By the way, I did read recently that they will consume 5 pieces of your content before they buy from you. So that's interesting as well. They will not remember you versus the other, right? I get it that it's important to us, but remember, it's not as important to them. So this is a chance to not be like every other seller. All right. Differentiate yourself. And I don't mean your company. I mean you. And here's why.
Yeah.
50%,
my favorite part.
Yeah. Of customer loyalty is about the experience. So listen, I get that's just above half, and that might not seem like a big deal, but put this in context. Okay. It is a higher importance than the product or service itself. It is a higher importance than the price. It is a higher importance than both of those combined, their experience with you. So the discovery call is a chance for you to be charming and fabulous, and most importantly, trustworthy. Type in this answer. What percentage of people automatically trust sellers?
Everybody.
Right? Right under
Everybody trusts
politicians.
sales. Totally. Ooh, Jody's close.
I love that you're a wise ass, Carrie.
I'm working on it.
0. I love it, Allie. 100% of grandmas. Oh, we can only sell grandmothers. I heard somebody say last night, the average attention span has gone down from 30 seconds to 8 seconds for human beings. And by the way, a goldfish is 9 seconds. And then the guy says afterwards, if only goldfish had credit cards. The answer is 3, and it sucks. All right. Only politicians are beneath us at 1.5%. Here's the deal. This is the trust scale. Distrusting at the bottom is somebody who screwed you over. And I purposely, pointedly distrust you. Okay. We come in at mistrust. Mistrust is a general, I'm probably not going to believe anything you say because I've bought a car in the last 20 years. Our job on discovery call is to get up as high as possible. If you nail it, you might get up to conditional trust. Your goal mostly is to get to considering. This is why we spend time building rapport. This is why we spend time getting them to know us. After multiple calls, working together, that's where we get into a relationship. I just did the talk yesterday for a guy I've known for 15 years. He didn't even care what I talked about. He just knew I was going to do well by him and put me up at the Cosmo. It was fabulous. So that's where we want to get to. We're starting at the bottom. Don't skip getting to know you. And the best way to do it, Kira, you're so good at this. Do what my buddy Seth Godin says, let your freak flag fly. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. You've probably seen this slide before. Carrie, how do you do it?
Well, I do it because you encourage it. Because I couldn't. Well, I
asked you to unleash your freak.
You did, and I was not allowed to do that where I was at before, and like creativity is such a big part of my DNA. So being able to,
Carrie writes music.
Yes, I do.
Outed. Sorry. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, but creativity is it. Like that's one of my soapboxes, and so to be able to use creativity in sales. So, but when you go back to being. You didn't say being memorable, but you did a different version of that. But like, I'm going to be memorable. Like you will remember when I called you because I use things like I've got I use dogs. This is Daisy.
Baby.
She's my senior pandemic rescue. She's
What's his name?
Awesome. But this is Daisy. And she has booked meetings for me a couple of times by putting her in some emails. She's got her own GIF. I use, I've got a pickaxe because who doesn't have a pickaxe that they found in their shed? Yeah, but stuff like that. I've got my kazoo,
You're not so good at that. There it is.
There we go. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, people remember that stuff, and it's fun, and because nobody wants to open a boring email and talk to a boring person. You trust and you buy from people you like.
Yep.
And
there you go.
They don't even have a chance to like you if you don't stand out.
So quit wearing your script mask and quit hiding behind it. Just be you and be a little freaky because people are drawn to outliers. Here's my last sales shot we're going to have time for today. This is about planting seeds of separation. All right. It's about power questions. There's something about your product and service. So we're off you, be a freak. Now we're on to your products and services. And your job is to start asking some power questions that are tied to your differentiators. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, but we all know there's features, functions, and benefits, right? The feature is what it does, or the function is what it does. The benefit is, so what's in it for me? You've all heard me talk about Swift, right? So what's in it for them? Here's a quick example. I'm going to use a fabulous movie from the 80s, Back to the Future. The feature of the DeLorean is the flux capacitor. Now, that's not just any feature. That's the feature. It's the differentiator. Is that making sense to you guys? Right? Carrie, what's one differentiator of us at Factor 8?
Sales leaders doing the training.
Bingo, right? The people in there know what the hell they're talking about. All right, good. Yep. The function. The flux capacitor bends the time continuum. What does your super snowflake differentiator do? Carrie, what does it mean when we have an expert teaching the class?
They've been in the trenches. Their hands have been dirty. They know what you've been through.
So what can they do with that?
They teach and coach to experience.
Good. So the function is better coaching. I can coach
Gotcha.
a call live because I've heard 10,000 of them, and I'll help you be better on the spot.
Yep.
Is that good? Yeah. You are still slightly in between features and functions. It's not easy, folks. Okay. The benefit. So what's in it for them? Right. Well, with the flux capacitor, the benefit isn't that you can go back to 1953. The benefit, the real benefit, is that I could spend time with my loved ones again, or get the farmer's almanac and make $1 million on the lottery or the horses, or, be rich the rest of my life. Okay. Carrie, what's the benefit of having really great sales training taught by somebody who knows what the hell they're doing?
It works and it sticks. A lot of training just disappears, but
Bingo.
the leaders build in the reinforcement and accountability so that the training it's not a one-time thing.
Yeah. Bingo. Yeah. So you get better ROI, right? Higher revenue.
Mm-hmm.
The key, you guys, to making it a benefit is tying it to one of the SWIFT values. If you've seen this before, don't worry, I'm going to spend a second or two here. If you haven't, come sign up for more classes or our masterclass, because this is money. All right. This is your cheat sheet to stop talking about features and functions and start talking about benefits. These are the 6 inherent business benefits. If you're selling B2C, there's a few other ones in here like sex and love and, all those kinds of things. But for a business person, it has to tie to one of these for it to actually be a benefit. Okay. I'm going to go through one more. Carrie, you did a really good job, but another feature of Factor 8, it sounds like a sales pitch. I'm just using me as an example, is that the managers get super heavily involved in the training. Like, we won't do it unless your managers are involved. Well, what's the function of that? Well, that means the managers, like you said, Carrie, we're coaching and supporting and measuring. And that means they're going to keep those skills alive. And why do you give a damn? Well, it's increased return on investment, right? These skills are not going to be gone in a minute. So that's what Carrie was just talking us through. And that's the SWIFT. I related it to money. Maybe you're going to relate yours to time or ease.
And if you look in the chat, Amy had posted, there's 5 questions you should never ask on a discovery call, but that also includes the questions you should ask. So it'll help you work through some of these things here too.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Shout out.
Now, here's the power seed question. Increased ROI is the benefit. Who would care most about that? Not just your ICP, ideal customer profile, your ideal customer situation. Okay. My ICP is a VP of sales who's got reps that go from about 25 to 250, who's got a big growth number or a challenge or a new go-to-market or needs to scale. That's my ICP. But what situation would that VP care most about increased ROI? Maybe somebody's had a bad experience in the past. Training died. Maybe somebody's measured on ROI, and that's how he gets his budget next year. Maybe somebody who's in a bad situation who super needs that revenue spike, right? Because the goal just went massive in his job's depending on it. Those are your power questions, trying to uncover that situation. Tell me about your past training experiences. I'm fishing, right? Does it stick? Do you feel like you got good ROI? How important is it managers coach new skills? Try this. Grab 2 of your special differentiators. Write down who would care the most and write yourself a power question. The key is, guys, it's all in how you do it. Questioning like a pro. It's a give and take. You can't drill them. It has to be a conversation. Active listening is absolutely key. Amy, will you type in there the link to our master class? We do have a master class that includes questioning like a pro, uncovering sales opportunities. We keep these really inexpensive, really easy. It's online, take at your leisure. I think we've got some live sessions in there as well. Click that to learn more, because I want to make sure I end us on time. Folks, the number one thing you can do is go update your list of questions. Make sure you've got everything you need. Try a couple super power seed snowflake questions as well that are targeted to uncovering their need for your differentiator, because now that's important to them and you're the only one who provides it.
And print them and put them by your desk.
God, yes.
You can see them. You got to see them.
Yeah. I did a class on question like a pro, and talked about how to organize them better. So that's part of the masterclass. It can be frustrating sometimes that you don't know where you are and what to ask, and that we sound like a robot drilling for questions, or we get stuck. And that class really helps solve that. So you'll love that, Kara. I don't think you've taken that yet.
I don't think so.
Awesome. Hey, thank you for joining us, everybody. Make sure you go back to this website and sign up for our next sales shot. Amy, will you type that in our chat as well? Unfortunately, I did not get it on my slide. Pardon me, guys. My bad. So good to have you join us, and I'm excited to see you guys next month. Woo, 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 woo. All right, there it is. Amy, you're so good. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.